Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Friday, October 4th, 2024. Let's find out what's going on the economic calendar today. The Asian session was almost non-event except the home loans data from the Australia that drops from 2.5% to 0.7%. Unemployment rate in Switzerland increases from 2.4% to 2.5%. And that's the first data release in the London session. Bank of England MPC member Peel will give a speech at 5 to 10. At 10 o'clock we got the speech from the BUBA Vice President Buch. And then at 10:30 we got the construction PMI data from the UK. At noon ECB, the Green will give a speech. And then we are going towards the main event of the day, main event of the week, which is of course the non-farm payrolls data release from the US. Non-farm payrolls, average hourly earnings and unemployment rate are all scheduled for release at 2:30. The non-farm payrolls are expected to increase from 142,000 to 147,000, and the average hourly earnings are expected to decrease from 0.4% to 0.3%. So a whole bunch of data is scheduled for this at 2:30. Together with the trade balance data from Canada. At 3 o'clock, FOMC member Williams will give a speech. Then 10 minutes later, ECB Alderson will give a speech as well. And at 4 o'clock, we got the IVA PMI data from Canada. At 7 o'clock, the last data for today will be the US Baker Hughes oil rig count and the total rig count for the USA. So, main event of the day, non-farm payrolls. Let's see how this event might affect the data, might affect the market behavior and market participants. So we need to switch to the technical part of this review. Let's start with euro dollar. The 30-minute chart of the euro dollar is showing us a breakout below the last technical support on the around the level of 1.3042, and the low was made at the level of 1.1009, which is the key level, almost the key level of the technical support and the low from the September 11, 2024. The September 11 low is at 110.03, the low is 110.09, so that's only 6 pips above this level. Nevertheless, it looks like our WXY corrective, time-consuming and complex corrective pattern is still in progress. We almost hit the technical support. We almost hit the extremely oversold market conditions. We might see some sort of the paradoxical reaction for the non-farm payrolls release. So we might have a dip to the downside in order to break below 1.1003, and then we might see some kind of a relief rally to the upside as the euro will strengthen against the US dollar. So please pay attention to the US dollar versus the pay attention to the US dollar versus the NFP 500 NFP payrolls, because it looks like we might see some sort of the upside movement today, basically towards 1.1048 or even 1.1085. The euro dollar is positioning itself ahead of the non-farm payrolls. What else is positioning itself against the non-farm payrolls is definitely US dollar to the Japanese yen. We got double rejection of the level of 147.22, and as you can see, we went lower from the extremely overbought market conditions on a 4-hour chart. So this situation here is telling us that the US dollar is getting a little bit weaker across the board, but not that much weaker. And the market is now trying to, let's say, regain the momentum. The recent movement to the downside was apparently, let me just take a look, I think it was somewhere here. Yeah, the price range, the recent movement to the downside was apparently something like minus 0.90, and the last correction here during this up move was minus 1.08. So this correction is still smaller than the last correction, which means it can be considered as a part of this upside movement. So nothing Nothing new is going on here whatsoever. The nearest technical support is located at 144.54 as well. So we can see this this movement to the downside as a corrective pullback from the extremely overbought market conditions. Please be prepared for the non-farm payrolls. How the gold is reacting on the overall situation. We've been tracking this gold progression from the $2,685 per ounce towards the level of 2,624. As you can see, we are locked in this very narrow range right now, and we are still testing this trend line support. If we this trend, this parabolic support. So let me just remove it because it might be a little bit confusing. That's just the idea of the parabolic growth of the gold, which is never a good thing, except for those who are, of course, long gold. So only they will benefit with this situation. Otherwise, everything else will be rather different. Now, the range, the intraday range of the gold is located between 2,640 and 2,672. So that's a kind of a $32 range, and this is the range which is, of course, limited by the 50 periods moving average from the top. So the upside is limited by the 50 periods moving average, and we are still waiting for the bulls and bears to decide whether they want to continue the up move as they were since the beginning of the September, or they might want to deepen the corrective pullback to the downside, and that's obviously means that the level of 2,624 is tested. If broken, then 2,617 level of the moving average, 100 periods moving average will be tested, and then eventually $2,588 level technical support might be tested as well. So that's the gold situation. Last but not least, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is trying to bounce. The Bitcoin is trying to bounce after this. Let me just take a line after this small wedge. Possibly the wedge formation has been made on the 4-hour chart. So we got this this formation here. Might be something, might be nothing, because it might be a little bit too early to decide whether this market is ready for a breakout. But if it is, then we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is, it doesn't actually looks very good for the Elliott wave count just yet. Maybe something else is cooking. Nevertheless, it looks very good as a bounce from the extremely oversold conditions. Right now we are at the level of 44 points, so quite strong movement to the upside, quite strong breakout from this wedge formation. We are then targeting the 62,310, 62,765 supply zone. That used to be the technical support, of course. Now this is the first major target for the Bitcoin bulls. All of this is made just before the non-farm payrolls are about to be released today, right at 2:30. Non-farm payrolls, average earning hours, average hourly earnings, and of course the unemployment rate. All of this data will be the key data for the early afternoon session, so the beginning of the New York session as well. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.